Picture a golden evening in Napa Valley, California, where the air hums with the sweet scent of grapevines and the promise of forever. It's June 2024, and the Sunset Vineyard, 55 miles north of San Francisco, sparkles under a canopy of fairy lights. Emily Carter, a 29-year-old sommelier with a smile that could light up the valley, stands arm in arm with her groom, Nathan Wells, a 32-year-old winery owner whose charm has won over every guest. Their wedding is a spectacle. 200 friends and family sipping vintage Chardonnay, a string quartet weaving soft melodies, and a 4-tiered wedding cake adorned with delicate sugar roses stealing the show. The cake is the handiwork of Claire Morgan, Emily's best friend since their college days in Berkeley, now her maid of honor. Claire's toast is warm, her voice steady as she calls Emily her sister, but her eyes hold a flicker of something darker. As guests dig into the cake, slicing through its creamy layers, a scream rips through the night. Emily stumbles, her lace gown pooling on the grass like spilled wine. Her face pales, her hands clutch her throat. 2 other guests, a cousin and an old friend, collapse nearby, gasping for air. Chaos erupts as paramedics swarm the scene, their sirens wailing 10 miles to the nearest hospital. But for Emily, it's too late. Napa County police descend, their flashlights cutting through the fog that's rolled in from the hills. Yellow crime tape snaps taut around the reception area, and forensic teams in white hazmat suits swarm the cake table, now a grim centerpiece. The autopsy delivers a gut punch. A rare toxin, derived from a South American plant, was laced into the cake, killing Emily and 2 others, with 6 more guests fighting for their lives. This wasn't a mistake. Someone served death with a smile. Who could betray a day so perfect? The Sunset Vineyard, sprawling across 40 acres of rolling hills, was a paradise before it became a crime scene. Emily was Napa's darling, her sommelier skills earning her a loyal following. Nathan, with his easy grin and ambitious winery, seemed her perfect match, their love story plastered across local blogs. Claire, 30, had been Emily's rock through heartbreak and triumphs, always ready with a laugh or a late-night coffee run. But lately, friends noticed a change. Claire's jokes were sharper, her smiles tighter, as if something simmered beneath her cheerful facade. Detective Rachel Hayes, a 5'9" veteran with 18 years on the force, took charge. Her sharp eyes scanned the wreckage, overturned chairs, shattered champagne flutes, and the cake, now bagged as evidence, its icing smeared like a warning. Hayes questioned Nathan, his suit stained with wine from the chaos, his voice breaking as he swore he'd been by Emily's side all night. But a waiter, nervous and fidgeting, mentioned seeing Nathan linger near the cake table, 20 feet from the dance floor, adjusting something before the dessert was served. Claire, meanwhile, sat in an interrogation room 6 miles away at the Napa County station, her hands twisting a tissue into knots. "I'd never hurt Emily," she sobbed. "That cake was my gift to her." But Hayes caught a pause when Claire described her baking process at her shop, a cozy bakery 2 miles from the vineyard. Had she overlooked something? Suspicion also fell on Mark, Emily's ex-boyfriend, who'd crashed the wedding uninvited, his face dark with resentment. Mark, a 31-year-old bartender with a history of petty theft, was seen arguing with Emily near the vineyard's edge, 50 feet from the reception, hours before the tragedy. The toxin was exotic, available only through specialty suppliers. Who had the means to get it? Police scoured the vineyard, finding no trace of the poisoned source. The kitchen was spotless, the bakery pristine. But 12 miles away, in a foggy forest near Yountville, a hiker was about to stumble onto something that would blow the case wide open. The forest near Yountville was a tangle of pines and shadows, its trails snaking 3 miles from the main road. Jenna Lee, a 38-year-old school teacher, was hiking her usual route when she spotted a patch of disturbed earth, 10 feet long, hidden under a blanket of pine needles and loose dirt. Her heart raced as she brushed away debris, revealing a fresh, deep hole. She dialed 911, her voice shaking. Within hours, Napa County sheriffs rolled in, their SUVs parked 15 feet away, red and blue lights pulsing through the fog. Forensic teams, their boots sinking into the soft ground, dug carefully, unearthing a locked metal box, buried 10 feet deep. Inside, they found a vial of the same toxin that killed Emily, a pair of latex gloves dusted with sugar frosting, and a torn photograph of Emily and Claire, their smiles frozen in happier times. The discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation. Detective Hayes traced the gloves to a bakery supply store 5 miles away, where grainy CCTV footage showed a woman, about 5 feet 6 inches tall, buying them 3 days before the wedding. The woman's face was hidden by a wide-brimmed hat, but her build matched Claire's. Was Claire careless, or was someone setting her up? Back at the station, Hayes pressed Claire harder, her questions sharp as a blade. Claire admitted to late nights at her bakery, insisting it was to perfect the cake's intricate rose designs. But her eyes darted when Hayes held up the torn photo from the grave. "We were best friends," Claire whispered, her voice cracking like thin ice. Hayes turned her focus to Nathan, whose story was fraying at the edges. A guest, a tipsy aunt, recalled seeing Nathan arguing with Emily in a quiet corner of the vineyard, 25 feet from the reception, just before the cake was served. His phone, seized by police, revealed texts to an unknown number. "It's handled. Meet me after." The messages were sent from the vineyard, time-stamped an hour before Emily's collapse. The Napa County Police Station was a hive of tension as Detective Hayes pieced together the jagged edges of the case. The journal from Claire's apartment was a window into a fractured mind, its pages brimming with envy that had festered for years. Claire wrote of watching Emily shine, her career, her charm, her romance with Nathan, while she faded into the background. "She took him from me," one entry read, penned in shaky ink. "I loved him first." But Hayes found something else that shifted the puzzle, a hidden email on Nathan's winery computer, sent to a supplier for the toxin under a fake name, traced to his IP address 5 miles away. Nathan had orchestrated the purchase, slipping the vial to Claire during a late-night visit to her bakery, disguised as a special ingredient for the cake. He'd preyed on her obsession, knowing her jealousy would drive her to act. Claire thought she was targeting only Emily, a cruel act to humiliate her friend. But Nathan had tampered with the dosage, ensuring the toxin spread to multiple guests to muddy the investigation. His motive was cold and calculated. Emily's $2.5 million trust fund, which he'd inherit upon her death, was his lifeline to save his failing winery, drowning in $500,000 of debt. Hayes brought Claire back to the station, 6 miles from the vineyard, and laid out the evidence. The journal, the gloves, the vial, the photo. Claire's face crumpled, tears streaming as she confessed. "I just wanted her to feel my pain," she whispered. "Nathan said it would only make her sick, not kill her." She'd baked the toxin into Emily's slice, her hands trembling as she piped the roses. When the other guests collapsed, Claire panicked, driving 12 miles to the Yountville forest to bury the evidence in a 10-foot grave, hoping to erase her mistake. She swore Nathan was innocent, but Hayes wasn't fooled. Nathan's texts, the bank transfer, the email, they painted a different picture. A search of his winery uncovered a burner phone hidden in a wine barrel, its call log matching the number from the "It's handled" texts. Nathan had played Claire like a pawn, using her love to execute his plan while keeping his hands clean. Hayes confronted him in a stark interrogation room, his charm fading under her relentless questions. "You used her," Hayes said, sliding the phone across the table. Nathan's smirk faltered, his silence damning. The arrests came fast. Claire faced 3 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder, her confession broadcast across Napa Valley's newsstands. Nathan was charged with conspiracy and fraud, his dreams of wealth buried under the weight of evidence. The vineyard, once a beacon of romance, became a grim landmark, its gates locked as mourners left flowers for Emily, her cousin, and her friend. Tabloids splashed headlines like "Bridesmaid's Deadly Envy" and "Groom's Greedy Game," feeding the town's shock. Emily's family, heartbroken, launched a foundation to educate about rare toxins, vowing to honor her light. Detective Hayes, reflecting on the case, noted how envy and greed could twist even the closest bonds, turning love into a weapon. This story, inspired by whispers of real betrayals but spun with fiction, reminds us to look closely at those we trust most. Any resemblance to real events is purely coincidental, but the lesson is clear. Unchecked emotions can destroy everything. What's the worst betrayal you've ever witnessed? Share it in the comments, and if this story gripped you, smash that like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. We've got more confessions coming to keep you awake at night.